Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be talking to you about a spiritual principle that can help you become more self-aware and become better at identifying problems before they become problems. So, because usually we don't recognize that we have a problem until it's an actual problem. So in today's world, we have a lot of people on social media platforms, and we can follow all types of people. We can find experts in nearly every field. We can find people who are disrupting those fields as well, right? Never before have we been able to so instantly find somebody who has the answer to a question that we've been looking for, and yet there's a wild amount of disconnect internally. So we are very connected externally, but very disconnected internally. And this is a problem for not only your physical health, but also your emotional satisfaction, your mental health, the way that your interpersonal connections flourish or don't flourish has to do with the amount of connection that we have first internally to ourselves. So I want to talk to you really quickly before I move into that subject about accountability. When we're learning a new skill set, for me, let's just say I'm going to learn about something to do with a car. Me personally, I would not just start taking apart my car and trying to figure out what's going on. I'm taking it to a person to do that for me. But let's say I want to learn how to do something on the car. Then I'm going to get someone who not only knows about a car, but who can do the thing that I'm trying to learn how to do, right? I'm going to have somebody who can teach me, show me, watch me as I do it, while I learn this new skill set, right? I'm not just going to, me personally, again, I'm just not going to do YouTube a video and then start doing it because I know nothing about a car. So maybe for you, you're like, oh, I'll just YouTube it. Great, because you already have a foundational amount of knowledge on that topic. Okay, so we think about skill sets like that, right? Like, oh, if I want to get better, I will go to school. I will find another mentor. I will join a group down the road or whatever, or I'll start a group myself. You know, if you want to develop a certain type of skill, to do those things. But when it comes to character issues, we often don't do that, right? We often overlook an accountability system. And this has to do with the way that you were raised up and the patterns or the cycles that you have continuously repeated throughout your life, whether you think you have or not. So if I'm growing up and I was never taught how to be held accountable to first myself and then to other people, then for me, accountability will seem very restrictive, right? I would feel like I don't want somebody who's just hovering over me and trying to tell me when to get up or what to go do now or to stop doing that behavior that I'm trying to change or whatever. That's how I'm going to think about an accountability system. I'm not thinking, notice the difference, right? So I don't know how to be accountable, and yet I will view an accountability system, this idea of having somebody that I'm accountable to, as a very restrictive thing, versus if I'm trying to learn a new skill set, I'm going to view it as a very freeing thing, a thing that I must have, something that must be in place, something that I have to have in order to obtain the goal that I have before me of learning this new skill. Isn't it interesting that we don't have that same mindset for character problems? Because pride is always going to get in the way of us actually achieving not only that goal, but ultimately becoming the person who would naturally achieve that goal. So at first, I just want to explain that a little bit, right? So if I grew up not knowing what accountability looks like, this is what those cycles might look like. Some of you watching this might resonate with what I'm about to say, but you're like, oh, that's me. And I'm going to tell you about how identifying that issue can help you as you move forward. So, as a child, if I was never taught about accountability, this is what my cycles look like. I get a good idea. I decide to try it out. It's very difficult. Something comes up, an external event. Somebody made me late for the first day of practice. Somebody didn't allow me. Somebody forgot about me or whatever. Didn't give me the uniform or whatever. I've got something going on where I'm going to blame it on that person. Somebody didn't do what they should have been doing, or prevented me from doing what I should be doing. And therefore, I'm taking this as a sign, this is just too difficult and I'm going to quit it. Or I've got a very good idea, but life got in the way and I kind of got distracted. I never set up an actual system. I never put an actual plan in place for me to achieve that goal. And so now the next good idea comes. So that one went away. Next good idea, I do the same thing. I will do these same cycles. This is far more detrimental than just not reaching our goals and having a history or a cycle of not reaching goals. We are actually lying to ourselves. We are teaching ourselves it's okay when I lie to you. And guess what? Your chances are you're going to have people in your life who are also treating you with that same level of respect. You are attracting into your life the very standards by which you treat yourself. The way I treat myself tells everybody else within my metron, my sphere of influence, how to treat me. And if you want to be in my sphere of influence, this is the way that you will treat me. And so if I'm lying to myself, if I'm constantly getting my hopes up and then it never happens, if I'm constantly settling for this zone of mediocrity where I never push myself through, where I never develop the skills to become the person who would achieve that goal naturally, then the idea of having an accountability person sounds very restrictive. And yet, if I were to compare it with a skill set type of new achievement, I would view that as a natural thing. So I want you to kind of understand that if I don't understand what accountability is, I need an accountability partner. I need somebody who already has authority in that. Okay, so that's number one. Going back to how interconnected we are. So if I'm already not aware of my shortcomings, if I'm not aware of how to overcome them, of how to turn those into not just goals that I've reached, but actual springboards from which I can be launched into my purpose, and catch up on and redeem time that I've lost doing something else or doing these cycles of never bringing into fruition any kind of fruit from any of my ideas or any of my desires, then I'm not ever going to know how to fix that problem, right? So first step is step number one is self-awareness. Need to know where you are in order to make a change on the path that you want to actually be headed down so that you can actually reach those goals that you have in mind. When I'm so connected to everybody and I've got all of the noise, it can add to the feeling of frustration or of drowning or of being unseen, unheard, insignificant. Again, all lies, but these are the feelings that people can feel in these situations. And instead of saying, pause, I'm feeling these feelings that are not are alerting me that something is wrong, right? They're alerting me that things are not okay. And instead of pausing and really diving into why am I feeling these feelings? Why are these thoughts coming to me? What kind of triggered these emotions, thoughts, reactions, whatever in me? We never do that. We just move on. I don't want to feel like that, so I just try to get away from that situation as quick as possible, right? Which further leads to these cycles that you don't want to have happening, right? You don't want to keep having these good ideas and then they lead to nothing, and then I end up in this cycle which spurs me to understand, hey, I don't want to be here anymore, and then I get another good idea, but I keep getting this same pattern is repeating itself, right? What I really want to address, I guess, in this video is understanding that those feelings are actually pride. I've talked about this before in a video that I have called Is It Humility or Is It False Humility? Something like that, dealing with a narcissist, right? But I really want to show you that this can come up in anybody, regardless of you're a narcissist or not a narcissist, you've never dealt with a narcissist or whatever. We can start feeling like, actually, I just want to give you a little example. Let's say I was given the cure to cancer. I know how to cure any and all types of cancer. Is it humble of me to say, I'm not going to tell anybody about this cure? If they really want to know about it, they will ask me the right questions. They will come to me and say all of the right kind of script that I've decided that they should say. Or I'll only give it to the people that I think are worthy, or will really treat that gift that I have, this cure that I have, appropriately. Or does that sound really selfish and like somebody who needs to get a reality check, right? That is the same thing that people are saying to themselves when you denigrate whatever gift you have been given, and you don't share it, and you don't develop it, and you don't find people who are going to help you pull that gift out, refine it, package it in a way that other people can connect to it, use it, and enjoy it. You're doing the same thing as this fake person that I was just speaking about, who has the cure for cancer. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have the cure for cancer. I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm just a mechanic, or I'm just an intercessor, or I'm only this or only that. Anytime we do that, first of all, I want you to understand that the Creator, the King of all the universe, lives in you. His image is wanting to get outside of you. So every time you say that about yourself, you're saying that this Creator who lives in me is not enough. It wasn't enough. You should have done more for me. And that's a hard issue all on its own. But second of all, I want you to understand that there are people who are literally searching. They're on the internet right now, literally looking for somebody who's an amazing organizer, who has figured out how to package stay-at-home mom tips in a way that they can consume, who somebody is looking for an honest mechanic. All of these things someone is out there searching for. Nobody on earth has a gift that somebody else doesn't need. No one. We were created on purpose with those gifts to fulfill a need that the earth has. So there's no such thing as I don't have an audience, or I'm not an influencer, or I'm not a leader. And if you think that, that's because you haven't learned how to lead yourself. That's because you haven't learned how to influence your own thoughts. You're never going to be able to do externally what you have not learned how to do internally. Before I move on from that, I want you to really think about a question really fast. Do you think that God only answers big prayers? Do you think that He's only looking around who has the biggest prayer, the most faith, the best request of me? Who thinks that is true? Well, before you answer, because I know everybody's going to say no, that's not true. I'm not asking about what your answer is. I'm asking about what you believe. I'm asking about what's in your heart. Because a lot of times people say the right things. We've gotten into a good mode of knowing how to say the right things in any type of conversation, and be able to dodge the actual heart of the matter about what's actually going on internally about us. But the fact of the matter is that obviously, Jesus healed fevers just as easily as He did paralysis. So there's no such thing as a small prayer. And so I say that to say somebody out there is praying, again, that they will run into an honest mechanic, that they will find a stay-at-home mom who has developed some sort of system that helps their transition into being a stay-at-home mom easier. Somebody out there is looking for somebody to explain organization in a way that makes sense to them. Whatever your gift or talent is, somebody is out there looking for it. And to say that that isn't true is to deny that person their prayer of being answered. Okay, leaders need to know that they carry the answer. And before you tell me that's prideful, I go back to my cancer situation, the story I just told you. If somebody had that, it's not arrogant for them to say, I have a cure here. It is their duty to bring it to the forefront, to bring that answer to the solution that someone else is looking for. It is their duty to do that. It is their purpose to do that. Your purpose is no different. The calling on your life is no different. And every time you stay stuck in these cycles, you allow another thing on the external, or you allow this other mindset that you refuse to confront to dictate how and when and where you'll use your gift and how you'll use it and who gets to have it and all of this type of stuff. You don't allow somebody else to receive an answered prayer. You don't allow somebody to connect with the hand of God. It's that serious. More importantly, leaders know that they are somebody else's second chance. Somebody is waiting for them, and they know and they honor that call that they are carrying. I know that I'm somebody else's second chance, and it's my responsibility, if I want to continue to progress in my life, in my purpose, in my calling, that I honor that that function that I serve while I'm working towards the next thing, or working on developing that new idea, or whatever it is. So I want to bring this all back to say, whatever small thing you think you've been given that doesn't really matter, and it's not really that much, and you're comparing it to all of these other people who have X amount of followers or X amount of dollars or X amount of experience, I want you to say I want to say that you have everything that you need in order to complete your purpose, in order to fulfill the call on your life. And the best way to be a leader is obviously to lead yourself first. But maybe you don't know how to do that. Maybe you're like I was saying, you don't understand how accountability works. You don't understand that that's really a character thing, just as much as it is a skill set thing, and you need a mentor in that area. It could be whatever area it is for you. I'm just using that as an example because I see it very often that people don't understand. They were never taught about accountability. They have no idea how to do it, and yet they're out here trying to reach these very lofty goals when they have zero self-discipline because they were never taught about accountability. And it all starts there. It starts about getting serious with being held accountable for your daily habits. In that case, you can't lead if you've never learned how to follow. And that is really what I'm getting at, is that if you feel like there's something lacking in your leadership, in your influential ability, in your ability to influence other people, in your ability to lead other people, in your ability to promote a certain idea, concept, product, whatever it is, because I'm talking about in all realms of your life, then you need to understand that your beginner's mindset is going to serve you well, and that you need to develop a beginner's heart as well, and start to become a follower. Give up on put that on the shelf. Put that idea of being the best leader, the best influencer, the best whatever on the shelf, and become a really good follower. That's how you will become a great leader. So I hope this video has helped you. First of all, understand there is no such thing as a small prayer. Number two, understand that you are somebody else's prayer. You are the answer to somebody else's prayer. And by denying that about yourself, you're not helping yourself or the other person. And number three, if you want to be a great leader, learn how to be a really good follower. That's where to start. I hope this video has helped you. If you guys have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel below, and then turn on the little bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.